Hello, friends, and welcome back. Today we have another student expose for our favorite student, RV 23, and we're going to play the opening. And RV likes to play his standard opening, but in this case, he does capture the knight, which is an interesting book move. I don't know. In general, I'm more of the philosophy that you should just continue building pieces and wait for him to capture. But capturing here is also definitely playable, and the structural difference that this is that black has more likelihood of having a bigger pawn center. That's one of the key things to know about this. On the other hand, he has a slightly weakened a pawn, which could in some lines become a potential target. Isolated pawns frequently are. So standard moves being played, mature development, not doing anything too hasty. This move is best according to the computer, but it's definitely a fishy one. But I think it works because he can't really think about these kind of ideas. It works out much better for white than for black. And Queen F3, one of those kind of moves. Queen F3, I'm not a huge fan of, but it is excellent according to the computer, so can't be too bad. F4, as the computer is suggesting, is much more. It's easy, F4, E4. You got two pawns in the center. It's a nice thing to have. Queen F3. You have to have a clear plan after this, and I'm not sure that White has a clear plan at this point because now there's a subtle deep range pressure, and yeah, basically White is saying he's not planning to play F4. But what is Queen on F3 actually doing? What is it you say you do here? You know, that's the queen, and now knight gets to jump into his favorite square, which is right there, and then trade off the knight for the bishop. Very often times people do that. Uh, yeah, there is a bit of shuffling going on here, and win a pawn just by blunder. But these blunders, they matter. And here's very actually instructive segment. You need to know that queen capture here is a much better formation than if you have two like this and two like that. It's not so nice. It's not really that nice. It's like you have this as a weak pawn. You got to babysit him. You have the queen as the babysitter, and you have this as another weak pawn, and this rook is a babysitter, and this pawn's actually even gonna go and gonna go rather soon, unfortunately. Although turns out that's not the accurate move, but yeah, just in principle, capturing here is much nicer. Keep this all solid. This is also fairly solid. You can get your knight here to defend this. You can liberate the rook because the pawn's guarding it. So important to keep that in mind. But now this move fails due to a tactic. And that's a lovely tactic. What a move! That's not a great move. It's a brilliant move. That's a fantastic move. Goodness me. Black caught, even I was caught off guard with that one. Honestly, wow. Wow. So double rook for queen. Uh, oh no, it wasn't actually that. Because the bishop could take the rook here, which neither nobody saw. Whoa, so that's why the eval is just swinging like crazy right now, because nobody has seen the bloody shit that was there to be done. And this is an inaccuracy. Uh, this capturing the bishop back is just cleaner way to win. Here, of course, the pawns will get tripled down, and then the queen should be able to start eating some of them, and the rooks might coordinate well, but probably not well enough. Taking the rook, however, allows black, well, to pose threats with the bishop pair, and the rook combination. So you're not out of the water yet, out of the woods. Uh, okay, this was a nice tactical option, always looking for checks and double attacks. Double attacks are the way to go, always try to be on the lookout for that. But totally understandable. King h3. This is good. This is all very good. Trading off. Here, I am not a fan of this move. You got to understand, right now, Black has one clear plan, which is to come and start like storming the pawns forward. And dropping your queen right here makes it just difficult for him to get the car started. He's trying to start the engine. He's trying to start the steamrolling engine here. And you want to make it difficult for people to start their engines. That's why we play certain moves in the openings that make it clumsy for the opponent to develop his pieces. And it's the same principle here. Make it hard for them to start their engines. This move you can play anytime. You don't have to play it now. And now, as you see, it becomes hard to play accurately when you feel the pressure of that steamroll engine coming. So, yeah, right here you got yourself a problem. Seems like capturing back with the pawn is a better idea. And how does that game go? Well, something like this, and maybe you go queen e3 right next. And then try to parry the pawn up to the finish line, and then what? It's not really clear. It's not easy for white to convert this, let me tell you. All right. So e3 played, and white definitely under pressure, and black now in the driver's seat. But we have a blunder. And these blunders are going to be difficult to capitalize on unless you are really good in queen endgames, which players of this caliber are generally not. So we have a blunder here, and what white needed to do was get the king back. And, well, it's still hard to see like how this is so good, but I guess it's not easy. Okay. But here we can see that the finish line is indeed close, so this queen check was very much needed, and we need to pawn move up. I don't see the point of it. Computer doesn't like it. Computer much prefers that you start getting your king into action already. And basically, the idea is that you use the king as that speed breaker right over here, That's the whole point. The whole idea. It all comes down to using your king in the endgame. That's one area where you have been a bit weak before, and this is another example of it. Gotta activate that king in the endgame, and you can't win the game with one piece. Queen, powerful as it may be, can't do it all on its own. It's not Sachin Tendulkar. This is not Sachin, all right? And now I can understand that the pressure is building because of all these different tactical motifs. But right here you have a blunder, and now what is a blunder? It's not easy to see, but definitely queen check would be a first idea, followed by another check, and then maybe you'll get some way to win it here, and it's difficult. So you get a lot of blunders at this phase of the game. So we'll just go through it. Let's see what the computer suggests. Right there. So you win the bishop, and then why wouldn't he just go forward with the pawn? Okay, because you just capture back here. So yeah, queen a2 check, not the right move. But now we can go back into the same motif. Queen check from here needed. A word about these queen endgames is that very often you gotta look for the move far on the diagonal or far on the board. Look for the moves that are far. They tend to be pretty good for the queen. Human players tend to look a little bit closer, like what's right here? How do I just checking? But try to see, be comfortable lifting your queen and taking it far off the board. That's one key thing. So eval bar really jumping up and down a lot because of a simple idea being missed, which is a tactical fault. Instead, we're going for this drawn end game, and maybe at this point that's the best that white can hope for, because black's play comes relatively easily, and it's not easy for white to really stop anything. All right, that was a good game, and we're only going to analyze one game in this student expose. So namaste and good night and good luck.